iRacing Sunday Night Truck Series. The very first round here from Michigan. Apologies for some issues that we've just had regarding the stream. We've just got things going again. Just had a couple of issues with YouTube receiving the signal itself, unfortunately. So hopefully you can see this absolutely fine. And hopefully we have you along for the show. Just looking at qualifying at the moment. Doug Pickering, pay to win setups. Looks like you definitely need to get a setup from him to go quickly around here. We've got Aaron Maspero second. Chris Modgridge has just gone second to replace him. Mark Redford has just gone fourth, one of the series organisers. Carl Hayes is fifth at the moment. Mark Murphy for Turn 4 Motorsports. I've been commentating on Mark in a different series, actually, the Vertex Stock Car Cup. Linus Brostrom, a name I've not heard for a very, very long time. Linus I used to race with in the BSR Kia Club Series that I used to help run. Martin Joy is just driving for joy, as we all do in sim racing. But yeah, apologies about the issues with the stream there, guys. Seems like some typical problems with YouTube. Connecting directly to YouTube doesn't seem to be as easy as doing it through Restream, in all honesty. So here we are. It's the first round of the championship. Stuart Bonfrey is beer and a pack of crisp. Just one crisp or multiple crisps? We've got times flying in on the board at the moment. Doug Pickering, 64 thousandths of a second clear of Chris Mogridge. We've got Brandon Roderick in the number 93 machine. He's just coming down pit lane now. Marcus Hagman, another one of the Force Esports management cars. Or trucks. I'm going to have to get used to that this season, aren't I? Rather than saying trucks. Well, rather than saying cars, we'll say trucks. Now, I like this team name. Martin McDermott racing for Send It Esports. Absolutely love that. Big fan of that. Sounds like a bang-on team name for me. Been commentating on a gentleman called Fraser Smith, who races for Full Send Racing. Gonna have to use some wider camera angles, I think, around here. Around Michigan. Just so we get a good eye on what all the action is. Jack Werrell in the booth. Good to see you, mate. Well, in the chat, anyway. Hopefully see you in the booth again soon, Jack. Oh, we can hear mayhem. Oh, there's a car off. Oh, well, there's a truck off. There's Marcus Hagman having an issue and John Jenkins. Let's have a look what's happened between these pair. No, John Jenkins has just gone off track on his own, and then Martin Hagman has done something completely different. Oh, there's trucks around in front of him, and this is the difficulty of pack qualifying for these boys. It's not going to be easy. This is the 43 of John Jenkins. And my goodness, the channel has just hit 300 subscribers. So thank you, everybody. Thank you very much indeed. The highest placed truck out there at the moment is Mark Murphy, who is currently making a lot of noise in the Turn 4 Motorsports machine. Number 58, flying down the back straight. Into turn 4. It's such a long circuit, this one. And a lot of the time you are almost flat out. It clearly doesn't like Mark Murphy's name, does it? No, no, no. Really doesn't like Mark Murphy's name. See if we can get iRacing to sort that out, shall we? Or get the overlay to sort that out. That was Adam Illman of Jib Racing. And the number 32. Love the colour on that. Fantastic lime green machine. Getting a lot of delicious bit rate here during this broadcast. Over 7,000 at the moment, so hopefully the stream looks okay for you guys. I certainly need to turn things down at my end, that's for sure. So I'm not using all the incoming bit rate. Only a minute and a half, or slightly more than that, left in this qualifying session then. Looking at Simon Thorns at the moment of No Emission Motorsports. That's definitely not true for this sort of machine, is it? No emissions. Absolute lies from Simon Thorns. Thank you very much, Kevin. Hope all is good. Oh, Martin's not going to be too happy about that. You couldn't see he's jumping with joy after going off the circuit. Let's have a look what happened here. Oh, he's had a bit of a wiggle. He's hit the apron and then it's gone one way, then the other. And the Toyota Tundra, oh, smacks into the wall. It's actually gone over as well. Didn't look like it had completely rolled. Well, it goes over big time. Does Martin Joy's machine. Now 45 seconds left. Who have we got here just going around the outside? Is that Linus Broström? It's not. It's his teammate. Actually, no, sorry. It was Linus Broström. Number 71. Flying along the best of his ability. In the Force Esports machine. All Swedish drivers in that team by the look of it. He's got his teammate Marcus Hagman. Tony Uvinen as well as... Oh, down low, that's the 22 of Martin McDermott. Ascend Esports machine, obviously with the Red Bull branding. Martin Joy's off the circuit again. He's not having a great time. But it's Doug Pickering, the Welshman. Top of the pile at the moment. Pay to win setups. Oh, there was a bit of contact with the wall there. That's the number 20 in front of him, Simon Wareham. Privateer, and now he's decided to get out of the way. And at the end of the session, it's all kicked off by the look of it. I think we should be all good stream-wise tonight, but it looks like it's going to be Doug Pickering that takes pole position then for the very first round of the season. Linus Broström ends up top 10. Jonas Force, obviously Force Esports Management. Looks like he's going to be 12th unless he improves here. He crosses the line. And no, he stays in 12th position. Josh Duffety Wong going for a top 5 prediction. Broström, Maspero, Hayes, Redford, Pickering. Well, let's see whether that comes true, shall we? As we're just about to get to the grid once the session ticks over. So Doug Pickering, oh dear, what's happened to the overlay? Doug Pickering takes pole position with Mark Redford in second place. Then it's Carl Hayes and Chris Mogridge on row 2. Aaron Maspero is alongside Martin Joy in row 3. We then have Mark Murphy and Adam Illman, with Marcus Hagman and Linus Broström rounding out the top 10. Then it's Stephen Netherwood and Jonas Force in 12th, with Simon Wareham and Tony Uvinen on the 7th row. Then it's Stuart Pomfrey and Simon Thorns, with Simon Marshall and Michael Rash on the 9th row of the grid. Then it's John Jarrett and Brandon Roderick ahead of John Jenkins and Martin McDermott. Darrell Whitford is 23rd, with Mark Cadmore in 24th. Then at the back of the pack, in 25th, is Jake Forster. So the whole field lining up to get underway for the very first round of the season. That's Carl Hayes on row 2 on the bottom line there, the number 96. Just on his outside is Chris Mogridge, listed here as a privateer. It's the quietest these trucks will be for this whole race. Nice to see the little difference there in the Force Esports liveries. You can see the 84 off to the right of shot as well, looking slightly different. That's Tony Uvinen in his car, truck, machine. John Jarrett there in 19th place for Jib Racing in the number 59. And we do have Jake Forster at the back in the 44. Lovely livery on that machine. But we're just about to get underway. Just about to get rolling now. This should be a very, very interesting one. It's going to be a timed race, this one. So it makes strategy a little bit more difficult to sort out. Milky in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you indeed. Right then. It's all about making sure that you make it around this first lap. We've got a big old field. We go to the blimp cam. You can see Carl Hayes there peeling down to the left a little bit. You can just see the size of this field. 25 trucks. Doesn't sound like a massive field when you compare it to other races around ovals similar to what you will see here today. However, it's a lot of trucks to get through. We'll see if we can get all 25 on screen on the left-hand side. Sorry, not 5, 25. There you go. Chaz doing things on the fly. But the first round of the season is about to get underway then. We've got Doug Pickering on the inside in the number 2. Hopefully he's going to take truck 2 to P1. But league organiser Mark Redford on the outside is going to be stuck to him all the way. I can guarantee you that. And he's gone. Doug Pickering is absolutely flown off the start. Carl Hayes down the inside, the 41 of Aaron Maspero going with him as well. I was told to watch out for Aaron. He's going to be an absolute hot shot this evening, but look at this. Already now, Carl Hayes trying to put the pressure on. Where is Aaron going to go? Is he going to try and slot in behind Carl, or is he going to go low? It's very high-paced around here. You're going to see a lot of these guys using very different lines. Bit of a change there. Jake Forster's already up a handful of places. There's contact and the 43's around. That's John Jenkins, and the yellow flag is out already. Well, John Jenkins of Jib Racing unfortunately turned around. Jake Forster had a really good start, though. Let's have a look on board with Jake. How did he manage this? So it's a nice easy start for him to begin with. That's the 24 in front of him of Darrell Whitford. He then goes to the high line. That's the 43 that ends up spinning just to the left. You can see he runs up wide. Let's go on board with John Jenkins. Oh, the 22 is slow. The 22 slows down, and then there's a tap. Unfortunately, well, I say actually fortunately, it wasn't a bigger hit for John Jenkins. He didn't hit anything else. Intrigued to see what happened to the 22 of Martin McDermott, though. And Martin, fair play to him, has actually let the 43 back through afterwards as well. So let's see what slowed him up here. He's got the yellow bonnet on the outside line, the number 22, with the Red Bull branding. Does the truck just get loose slightly? No, he just randomly slows up. Oh, and then it goes hard right. And then around he goes, unfortunately. But Doug Pickering, fantastic start there for him. I'll be very pleased with that. Carl Hayes went with him really well. Mark Murphy's gained 2 places off the start. Jake Forster did pull a blinder, but he's already in the pits, actually. Here's Jake. Not sure if he's that desperate for tyres or fuel or whatever else, but there's a couple of them coming in. Stuart Pomfrey, Darrell Whitford, John Jenkins all going in there as well. But Doug will be delighted to be leading the field after a start as frantic as that one. Especially on a circuit like this, with it being as wide as it is not easy. to get it all right. Because you've got so many different trucks that are having contrasting lines to one another. Some people could start out low and then end up going high on the exit, or they could take a high line and then when people do wash up on the exit they can squeeze them into the wall. It gets very messy sometimes, but fingers crossed they keep it all nice and clean. So, who is going to take tyres and who is going to drop down for fuel as well? We've not really seen anyone else. Actually, it looks like Stuart Pomfrey back in the pits. I'm wondering whether some of these boys may be given penalties for speeding or something in the pit lane. It's not something I haven't seen before. But this is going to be one to go now until green. Pickering will lead them round again. Carl High's got a really good start and went with him though. So keep an eye on how Carl does on the outside. And can Mark Murphy gain another position? He's up to 4th place. He's alongside his teammate. Actually, apologies. It's Aaron Maspero on the second row. Mark's just ahead of him in the line. MotoGoat in the chat saying they're topping up the fuel. Yeah, that's a very good point. It's always good to have as much fuel as you need just to try and do a long run in these sorts of races. Josh Duffy1 giving us a bit of inside info there. Pickering and Highs usually team up for plate track races, so they expect not to fight each other. That's very interesting to know. Thank you very much. Like I've said, I'm new to this championship. I'm new to the idea of truck racing, to be honest. I've not really broadcast it before. The only one I've done was at Eldora as a special event. Doug Pickering doesn't care if it's a special event or not. Look at that, him and Hyde have just gone together. Carl judged that really well. Either that or they're in a chat together. Everyone's staying a little bit stable in the middle there. Martin Joy in the bright yellow and red machine down the inside. Look at Maspero going to the middle. He's now down the inside of Carl Highs, and he's got a great run off there as well, off 1 and 2. Is there anywhere to go against Doug Pickering? Joy slots in the background. No shenanigans this time, but look at this now. Maspero right up behind Doug Pickering. Carl Highs has gone really high there. And he's nearly making contact with Redford. These guys get so close, though. I need to get used to how close these machines get over a run. The number 52 there, Stephen Netherwood. Nice livery on that thing. The quick lane. Let's hope he is in the quick lane for tonight. Oh, a little bit of movement there from Linus Brostrom. And it's actually Jonas Forss just behind these guys that's done the fastest lap. Maspero is up very high up at the top. In the background, is that Simon Thorns? No, Simon Thorns is a bit further back. The 278 there, Michael Rash just behind him. Looks like he was making a rash move in front of the 21 of Simon Marshall with the Coca-Cola livery on it. Down the inside he goes. Here's Uven, and then it's Illman. I need to remember that it's Adam Illman in my favourite coloured vehicle out there on track. A very bright green machine, trying to carry it round the outside. Plenty of pace there. The number 78 just in front, Jonas Forss, seems to have slowed him down a little bit. Maybe had to just halt his progress. Just in front, Linus Brostrom's had to drop to the bottom line. Apologies for any dropped frames, by the way, guys. Apparently we're just getting a couple creep in here and there. I'm trying to push the bit rate as high as I can on this stream, so maybe it's just asking a little bit too much of my terrible internet. We've got quite a lot of movement in the middle of the field, though, at the moment. Murphy doing the fastest lap of the race then. Mark Murphy, 40.114, but you can see just how close these lap times are. We'll go on board with him. Look at the speeds here. 290 k's down the back straight. There's Nest in the Woods, of course, and Mark Redford's Twitch channel at the bottom. Through 3 and 4, that's Carl Hayes on the inside line. Mark just trying to creep up behind him. It's all about momentum in this sort of racing. Now look at the momentum that Mark Murphy's got there. He's going to try and go on the high line now. He's going to squeeze Mark Redford down low. Mark is glued to the back of Carl Hayes though. What have we got gearbox camera wise on these things? There you go, look at that, beautiful. Over the course of the season, by the way, guys, on the broadcasts that I can do, we will try to develop the overlay, develop the style of the broadcast, just to make sure it suits the series as well as possible. But what was originally a top 4 is now becoming a top 7. As Mogridge now does his fastest lap of the race, a 40.358. He's going to try and creep up there with these guys in the McDonald's liveried machine. Got a bit of blimp cam so you can see the chase in front. Or maybe not. Big golden arches though all over Chris's machine. And look at that just in front. Carl Hayes has actually lost out to Mark Redford and Mark Murphy. So Hayes down to 4th, but Maspero is right in the back of Doug Pickering still. If we look back, and Doug, there he is in Ford. Ford F-150, of course. Wonderful looking, I would say road car, but road truck. We've had Jake Forster and Simon Marshall in the pit lane, unfortunately. A great chase up front though between these guys. Looks like Pickering now has opened up a bit of a gap. And to be honest, Mogridge looks like he's really closing in on Marcus Hagman as well. Across the line once again they go. We'll keep an eye on how many laps these guys do as well, shall we? Onto the 13th lap now, but just in front, Carl Hayes down the inside of Mark Murphy. Once again. Looks like Carl might have just had this, but Mark's going to try and make that bottom line work again, isn't he? Now, on the outside, is Marcus Hagman, and he could come under attack from Chris Mogridge here. A little bit further down the order, it's close between Stephen Netherwood and Michael Rasch, the German in front of him. I believe he's German. Haven't got his full nationality, so apologies, Michael, if you're not. Bit of a, well, you could say a bit of a dent on the 52 in the back left. It's certainly made the truck shorter by about a foot. And at the front, Maspero is right with Pickering again. I don't dare go on that gearbox camera at the back because it'll just be filled with F-150s. Ford's 1st and 2nd and 4th at the moment, with a Toyota of Mark Redford in 3rd. Then we've got an absolute train of Chevrolets, 5 of them to be exact. There's only 10 Chevrolets in the race, and 5 of them are inside the top 10. As Mark Murphy stays ahead of Carl Hayes for now. Mark Redford's actually got past Maspero into the final couple of corners on this lap. And he now inherits second place behind Pickering. But Doug Pickering doing a great job at holding on. Mark Redford, of course, started in second place, so he's regained what would have just been his starting position. Seems like we've lost Jake Forster from the race. Martin McDermott is still out there. Illman and Marshall both still sat in the pits, unfortunately. Simon Wareham has just got past Michael Rash, who seems to be dropping quite a bit here, although he's gained 4 places from where he started. Equal, actually no, not biggest mover in the field. Biggest is actually Tony Uvenen, or Alvenen, on the outside line for the Force Esports community team. He's gained 5 spots so far, but Martin Joy wants to knock that back down to 4. And it's almost... Oh, it looked like there was going to be a bit of contact there, but no. They do get so close together, these boys. It's awesome stuff to watch. We'll go on board with Uvenen. Very loud indeed inside these trucks, isn't it? Plenty of roll cage as well. They can take a big hit, these trucks. But there's 3 of the Force Esports trucks in this battle at the moment. Chris Mogridge and Marcus Hagman at the front of this, side by side with each other, and almost 3 wide in the middle there comes Linus Broström. Look at Linus down the middle. Martin Joy wants to go with him as well, but I don't think he's going to have any joy in trying to do that. The 3 sticks to the bottom. That sounded American, didn't it, Chaz? Sticks to the bottom. Now up to the top goes the 15. Oh, he's lost a bucket load of places there. Marcus Hagman. That didn't work out for him at all. And now look at Martin Joy down to the bottom there. And now he's going to wash up wide. He's going to lose a bit of momentum again. And the 52, Stephen Netherwood, seeing all this go on, he's thinking, what are you Force boys doing here? And apologies to the guys if it is just FORS, if they want me to say that rather than Force, but this is great stuff. Martin Joy really squeezing Hagman up high. The 3 of Chris Mogridge seem to have not get a fantastic run across the line there either. Through turn 1, he's gone a bit slow. Adam Illman is back out on track, by the way, but severe damage to that vehicle. And somewhere in all this, Redford has made his way to the front. Let's have a quick look at how he managed this. Got a great run off 1 and 2 and just made it stick down the inside, so nice work by Redford. Pickering now in second, having to defend from Maspero. We're a quarter of the way through this race already. And look at that, Maspero chucks it down the inside in the 41. Nice effort. And now Mark Murphy wants a piece of this as well. He's actually managed to get his nose down the inside of Doug Pickering. I'm wondering whether Doug's killed his tyres a bit early on. Don't forget, no pit stops for tyres yet. Michael Jones in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Nearly joined myself, but had 0 practice in the trucks for about 12 months. I don't blame you, mate. I couldn't drive these things to save my life if I needed to. If my life depended on it, I think I wouldn't even try. These things may just look like trucks that you put your foot down in and just go flat out and turn left a couple of times, but honestly, there's so much more to it than that. I really do wish you could sort of force the appreciation of this kind of sport on people, because it's so difficult. Especially when you're trying to be quick. This is Stuart Pomfrey and Michael Rash, and the beer and pack of crisp machine down the inside succeeding there. Rash has now gained 3 places. Biggest mover is actually Mark Cadmore, the number 40. He's gained 5 spots at the moment. Chris Mogridge is the biggest loser in the field that's still running. Actually, no, Jonas Force has dropped 9 places. He was the biggest mover earlier. And there he is in 21st position. We'll give you the track map just so you can see just about where everyone is. And you can see there's a bit of a train at the front of the field down to 12th place, which is Simon Wareham. And then after that, sorry, 13th place, Simon Thorns. It's the 2 Simons in 12th and 13th. Then it's Stuart Pomfrey, 2.4 seconds back. So the top group breaking away slightly here. A yellow flag would really help the guys behind to close back up, because as you all know, in this sort of racing, it's being in the slipstream that is one of the more important parts. So you get dragged along with the battle. Martin Joy down the inside of Linus Brostrom now. There's Linus on the outside. Great run on that high line in the Chevy Silverado. Down the inside though goes Martin. You'll see the physics of how this works now, look. It's just that tiny, it's all about the overspeed basically. It seems like there's tiny differences most of the time. Well, this is what it's all about. You could chuck it in deep early on in the corner. As Cadmore's gone back to the pit lane. What has happened to Mark Cadmore? He's instantly towed back to the pits by the look of it. That's why he's jumping down the timing screen, because it counted him as completing a lap before everyone else did. Just watching Mark Redford's lines just to see if he's picking up anything else that some of the other guys can't quite do behind him. But a lot of this, there's so much strategy involved in this sort of racing, and especially when you're going for an hour rather than set laps as you often get in NASCAR. There was a big discussion about this in the week for the series, and it was very interesting, you know, to hear everybody's points, knowing about fuel and tyres and how you've got to plan the race. And when you've done it to laps, you know, if you know you've got a certain amount of laps of fuel and the tyres will last X amount of laps, makes it so much easier. Mark Murphy's having a bit of a blink in and out here. Now, he's had this recently in the Vertex Stock Car Cup, and if you haven't chased car or truck in iRacing that's blinking, this is kind of a good example of what you get with Carl Hayes at the wheel here. Disappearing in and out quite a lot is very, very distracting. Especially with this smoke as well, as the wheels get up to speed. But when you're on a road course as well, especially, it gets very difficult to try and overtake somebody. Now, Maspero has gone for the lead here, and it looks like he's lost a bit of momentum. Doug Pickering's going to go with him. Mark Redford has had a nightmare out of 1 and 2. Mark Murphy's going to go down the inside now, so Maspero takes to the race lead on lap 26. Mark Redford now slots into 4th place. Linus Brostrom's had a good run so far. He's climbed up to 6th now, started 10th. Tony Uvenen started 14th. He's now up to 8th place with his teammate Marcus Hagman right behind him. Not a bad run for Darrell Whitford either in the 24. He's gained 5 spots, started 23rd. We've got 5 trucks in the pits at the moment. McDermott is still out there, and he's on the back of the 32, who's a lap down. But at the front, it's still very tasty here. But look at Mark Murphy blinking in and out. I've got to think some of the guys might just quickly say something and inform him that it's maybe not the easiest of things to follow. But this group is getting bigger and bigger here. Martin Joy down the inside of Carl Hayes. Oh, that was close. You can see what the overlap does to these things. Well, Martin Joy doing a fine job there, to be honest. Murphy's now lost out to Redford, who's gone up to 3rd. Redford got a great run out of 1 and 2, managed to get ahead just before 3 and 4. Now, Joy is side by side with Murphy. Down the inside he goes. And from all we saw of Martin Joy in qualifying was him having accidents onto the front straight, so it'll be good that good to see that he's actually having a better run in the race, which is nice. I'm wondering when these guys are going to need to come in for tyres or fuel at this point. Seems like it'd be quite an abrasive circuit around here. It's a very fast circuit. Look at Joy chucking it down the inside. Great stuff. Oh, there's a tap with Mark Redford. That's going to push Mark wide, and then Mark Murphy's going to take advantage of that. Can Carl Hayes do the same? All of this is helping Aaron Maspero and Doug Pickering at the front. These two are happily trying to run away. Further back, we've got Tony Uvenen trying to get past Marcus Hagman. And then Stephen Netherwood just behind. It's close as well between Darrell Whitford and John Jenkins in the Jib Racing machine. It's not easy to make it work around here, though. Stuart Pomfrey, by the way, pitted on lap 3 and has still gained positions on where he started. He's up to 13th position. He's the highest placed truck of anyone that has pitted so far. There are a couple of them that have had pit stops, as you'll see on the left. He's actually had 2 pit stops. One at the very start and then came back through, I think maybe for speeding in the pits. So, great job so far from Pomfrey. This is close again. Redford, Murphy and Hayes. You'll notice as well, nobody really going properly down to the apron at this stage. I think just trying to ask that much of the tyres might hurt them at this point, more than necessary. Let me say that having Photoshop open at the same time as iRacing doesn't help anything. It looks like a bit of smooth sailing at the front for Maspero and Pickering at the moment. Maspero dropping to the low line like some sort of signal to Pickering. Not quite sure what that could be. He's doing a really sterling job of leading this race at the moment. This top group did an outstanding job. Carl Hayes has dropped off the back of it now. Martin Joy is really flying though. Martin has come alive in this part of the race. Down the back straight once again. There's the pay-to-win setups truck of Doug Pickering right in front. So it's an Englishman, a Welshman and a Scottishman. Walk into a NASCAR track. There's got to be some joke there somewhere. Brandon Roderick and Simon Marshall have both left the pits from further down the order, although Simon Marshall has had an issue here. What has happened to Simon? He's come out of the pits. It looks like the truck's still damaged. Yeah, it's got damage to the front right there. Not quite sure what has gone on, unfortunately. But Maspero still leads the way. Joy holding on in third at the moment. Be a good way to start out his championship. But this is a great battle for these top 3 places so far. Unfortunately, the next round of this championship that will be covered by yours truly will actually be round 6 of the series. Between now and then, there's a lot going on with my Sundays, I'm afraid. But that could change. You know, it's all subject to change. We can easily get these things sorted out. But we're nearly at the halfway point of this race, and 27 minutes, or almost 28 minutes, has flown by so far. Let's see what happens with the second half of it. As Redford chucks it up the inside of Martin Joy. Now, what can Martin do in terms of getting a run off 3 and 4? In the background as well, you can see Linus Brostrom. Carl Hayes, I think, is coming into the pit lane, is he? He is. Oh, he's overdone it on the way in, though. Oh, Carl. Oh, he's going to be kicking himself for that one. Absolutely kicking himself. Let's have a look. So he gets it slowed down. And it's just not turning. It's just not turning under brakes. And he's still trying to get it stopped. Then he realises he's not made it. Oh, Carl. Cardinal sin there. I think he might have had an issue getting back on the circuit as well. Doesn't seem to have got back up to speed very quickly. Doug Pickering now inherits the lead as Aaron Maspero comes into the pits. Gets it slowed down. Pit entry is honestly an art in these sorts of vehicles. They don't brake, they don't really turn that well under brakes either. So getting them stopped is an art form. Some of the guys just leaving the pits there. Chris Mogridge that was, number 3. So we'll show you the amount of stops on the left hand side. So you can see just about where these guys are coming out. Aaron Maspero is in there somewhere. So the highest placed truck that's pitted. So if I look at the speed that Simon Thorns is carrying around the outside there, although I think some of the guys are actually coming in the pits, so never mind, that's a bit of an optical illusion. Joy has stayed out though. So where is Thorns? Maspero is already out. Maspero is here, getting up to speed though. So there is Thorns. What's he going to be able to do here? As they line back up. He's still catching, so Maspero trying to get up to speed, but I think now he's in 3 and 4. That might work for him. So you've got Doug Pickering leaving the pits now. Where is Maspero? He's there. We've got to think that Maspero might have this. He's already got a lap under his belt. There he is round Redford. And there is Doug Pickering on the inside. Look at the speed Maspero carries around there. Now he's got to just try and get past the number 93 of Brandon Roderick cleanly. Behind as well, Doug Pickering has got Simon Thorns right in his tail. Mark Redford is theoretically going to drop as well. Martin Joy and Tony Uvinen have come in the pits, and it's Stuart Pomfrey leading the way at the moment. He obviously pitted on lap 3, so he's going to be able to go a little bit longer. Darrell Whitford is second at the moment in the number 24. Then we've got John Jenkins just behind him. But theoretically, your race leader is Aaron Maspero. As we've gone over the halfway point now, but we've had a yellow flag, which obviously saved these guys some fuel. And saved the tyres a little bit. Otherwise, you'd say this could just get them to the end. As Redford goes down the inside of the 57 of Simon Thorns. Whitford just into the pits. Aaron Maspero goes through then. There's Joy coming out of the pit lane. Martin has actually ended up a lap down there. He's had a real nightmare in the pits. Not quite sure what's happened to Martin. He's had a 54-second pit stop. 55-second pit stop, as opposed to the 15 and 14 of the others. Marcus Hagman had a 16.4 second pit stop, one of the longest stops there. Very interesting indeed. He's got Netherwood, and then John Jarrett just behind as well, one of the other series organisers, of course. Do hope you're enjoying the show so far, everybody. Please do let me know if anything looks a little bit off or whether anything could look better. Please let me know. I will try and sort things out as well as I can to the best of my ability. Please do understand that I'm limited in terms of bandwidth, aren't we all? Now, I said that Maspero had a really big run on Pickering, but on brand new tyres, Pickering is flying here. Last time round, 0.6 of a second quicker than Maspero. And there is the difference between the two Ford F-150s. Absolutely naff all as they go through 1 and 2. But these two, it was said earlier that Pickering and Hayes usually work together for the plate races, restrictor plate races. Looks like Doug Pickering's doing no such thing with Aaron Maspero. Now Simon Thorns, to be fair to him, has had a great race so far. He's gained 10 positions. He started 16th on the grid. And he is now up into 6th, as you see here. Carl Hayes has dropped 11 spots after that mishap earlier on. Eventually pitting on lap 38. Latest pit stop was actually from Stuart Pomfrey, who has now dropped down to 13th place because he pitted on lap 41. Adam Illman is still out there. He pitted on lap 11. Obviously having an incident earlier meant that he's a bit out of sync with everybody else. The cars that have just gone past him, or trucks. I'm going to get it right one day. The trucks that have just gone past him, though. Mogridge and Hagman side by side. Hagman down the inside. I'm sure Mogridge isn't bad at bat by loving it. Michael Jones saying we need a caution. I think some of these guys would beg for one right now. But the field doing a good job so far. Tony Uvenon chucking it down the inside in the 84. John Jarrett just in front of him. Again, one of the series organisers. One of the few people on track that you really do not want to make contact with, John Jarrett. It's funny actually, I commentated on a real world series this year called Sports 2000. If you haven't heard of Sports 2000 Championships in the UK, do go and look at it. It's amazing stuff. And we were joking a lot that one of the drivers got involved in an incident and his spinning car was then parked on the apex right in front of series secretary as he came round Druids at Brands Hatch. And the two of them made pretty much head-on contact. Both drivers were absolutely fine. John Owen and Roger Donnan. Oh, sorry, Mike Turner and Roger Donnan. Apologies, John Owen. Although apparently it was John Send that caused the incident, but still. Fantastic bunch of people. Amazing stuff. I look at Uvenon down the inside of the 52 of Stephen Netherwood. Love that line. Josh Doherty Wong saying, if it wasn't for Carl sliding the pit entry, my top 5 would be all in. It has been very clean, hasn't it? I never know what to expect. When you start watching a new league or a new series on iRacing or in any sim racing, it's hard to know what to expect. And to be honest, I've been very impressed so far. I'm going to jinx it now, but this has been very clean racing from all these guys. Looks like Tony Uvenon's on an absolute flyer here. Mogridge is now stuck right behind Simon Thorns on the high line. Simon's having a bit of a drop in pace. Someone's put a bit of lead in his balloon here. Oh. Mogridge just trying everything, but he can't dip down to the low line. That's the number 22 that's just gone past, actually. Of Martin McDermott, who's a lap down on these guys, or a couple of laps down at least. Two by two they go. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Much appreciated. Glad you're enjoying the show. And now Mogridge. Whoa, that was close. You could barely fit a Big Mac between the two of them. But he had to wait and wait and wait, didn't he, to get that move done. He was just stuck behind John Jarrett. Sorry, not John Jarrett, apologies. Simon Thorns with nowhere to go. Everybody just streaming past him down the inside on that low line. Doug Pickering hasn't got anybody streaming past him, though. And he's not on the lowest of lines, but he's doing a wonderful job. Pay-to-win setups in the Ford F-150. Of course, he put it on pole position. Aaron Maspero started 5th. Linus Brostrom, to be fair, is up to 4th. He's gained 6 positions. Tony Uvenen's gained 7. Darrell Whitford for Cool Breeze Racing has also gained 7. But he's only got a Cool Breeze to keep him company at the moment, unfortunately. He's 7 seconds ahead of the truck behind him and 3 seconds behind the truck in front. This is two of the Force Esports machines together. Marcus Hagman up high with Tony Uvenen just going past him and now gaining his 8th position of the race down low. White wheels and gold wheels. As mentioned, had a lot of fun with Marcus Hagman in previous iRacing series in the Kia Optima of all things. We've only had 1 yellow flag so far, and it was on lap 1. Now look at this. Chris Mogridge right on the back of John Jarrett. Twitch.tv/MyTurnRacing. If you wanted to go and check out any of the Twitch streams as well, of course, John streaming at the moment. Don't forget to keep this one on as well. Fantastic speeds around here at Michigan. Fantastic liveries as well. Really like this one from Stephen Netherwood. White and blue, as you can all imagine. My favourite colours and the colour of my branding. Also, the colours of the overlay. But they look good on Stephen Netherwood's Ford as well. He's got the Tundra of Simon Wareham just behind him. 4 places gained so far for Simon. In 9th position. Martin Joy is actually the reigning champion at the moment, number 12 machine. His only championship as well. And a good friend of mine, Ashley Blake Hood, has previously won this series as well in 2015, Season 3. Linus Brostrom, also previous champion. Mark Redford running near the front. Series organiser has won the championship twice. And another colleague of mine, race spot commentator Connery Maddock, double champion in 2016, Season 3 and Season 4. Connery and I both nominated as VCO Simi Award nominated, if you could say that, commentators, which will be announced in 6 days' time on Boxing Day. Very excited to see who takes that one. Wouldn't be surprised if Connery does win it, to be fair. Tom Stanley, another racer that I've raced against, he won the championship in 2015. See if there's anybody else out there. Ian Cornish has won the championship 4 times over a couple of different years. Nigel de Jong as well has won it 5 times. It's great to see that there's a mix of different champions in this championship, though. A lot of series that you get a constant winner. Obviously, you are going to sometimes get runaway winners near the front. And yes, Michael, I have seen the emails for what MSV are doing, and it's interesting. I'm not really sure I'd want to do it at safety car pace, but it's each to their own. At the end of the day, if you get on a circuit at all, it's brilliant. Now, Aaron Maspero, speaking of brilliant, is going to try and get past Doug Pickering here. And succeeds. And just behind as well, Linus Brostrom all over the back of Mark Redford. Martin Joy, though, just in front of these guys, is a lap down, so not fighting for position. This is Simon Wareham. Currently just in 9th place. He's got Stephen Netherwood That made me jump, didn't it? Stephen Netherwood right in front of him. Into 3 and 4. Look at the patience. And look at the gear stick as well. Wobbling away. Love it. Into 1 and 2 again. So we've gone a good, 43 minutes now without a caution, because the first one came within about the first 10-15 seconds. And this is one of the things that, as a driver, I cannot put up with in these races, is that any progress you make on the truck in front of you or the car in front of you is so slow progress, but that's why it's such an art form. These guys are so patient throughout the race. It's absolutely brilliant. Just ahead of this, there's 2 of the Force Esports machines. So Stephen Netherwood is being helped a little bit by the slipstream that they're creating, but they are literally glued together at the moment. This is Tony Uvinen. Marcus Hagman right behind. John Jarrett's in the pit lane. So maybe a last minute splash and dash, maybe some tyres as well. Let's have a look on John. Let's go on board with him. Gear stick still wobbling away. Yes, tyres on the right side at least. Just right side. Just right side for John Jarrett. So expect more people to do that as well. Aaron Maspero flying now down the straight. Nearly 3/4 of the way through. 45 minutes certainly does fly on these things, doesn't it? Now, Martin Joy doesn't have to let Redford go here. But if it gets to the point where he's starting to hold him up and he's backing him into Linus Broström, then I'm sure that he won't be too pleased about it. I'm just going to check the Discord though, and to be fair, no, they're not in a chat together, so it's an interesting one. The Force Esports machines are all in a chat together though, and you'd hope so with how close they've been all race. Now that looked like a bit of an issue for Uvinen then. He's lost a lot of space to Marcus Hagman, who's all over the back of him, but he seems to slow up a little bit as well. Maybe just staying behind his teammate, trying to work together here. But look at Stephen Netherwood in the 52. He's closing in fast. He senses an opportunity here to climb further inside the top 10. We've got under 15 minutes to go here in the first round of the MyTurnRacing Sunday Night Trucks Series 2021 Season 1. A prelude to Christmas, you could say. And Stuart Pomfrey comes into the pits. Now look at that from John Jarrett in the 59, flying around the outside. However, looks to me like Stephen Netherwood is bringing it onto pit road, and so too is Tony Uvinen just in front. Redford and Murphy also on pit road. Mark Murphy was just in 7th for a moment there, which is where he started the race. Stuart Pomfrey just come back out of the pits, but let's keep an eye on Mark Redford and see how he gets on, because he's going to be one of the key ones to see where he comes out. It is a gamble indeed, says Michael, because some of these guys could stretch this to the end, but there could still be, as he ignores the Mustang, as there could still be a yellow here, and if it is just after now, when these guys have come in, they might have an advantage, but if it gets long enough on a tyre life, long enough through the tyre life, they might not have that much of an advantage come the end of the race. Redford is just going to come out ahead of Joy, who he's been following for quite a while now, and interestingly, Doug Pickering right next to him there. Pickering obviously a lap ahead. Joy is actually there for position now, and it's close again between Netherwood and John Jarrett. John Jarrett pitted a lap earlier. And of course Uvinen in there as well. Hagman is just behind them on track, but he's 3rd overall because he has not pitted yet. And he's still not pitted yet. Linus Broström comes into the pits. Doug Pickering stays out again. He's got Martin Joy right behind him. Martin's now climbed back up to 9th place, but you've got to think, where's he going to go after a pit stop? So this is the strange little interlude bit where they all switch over. We've got not too long to go now, 12.5 minutes as of now. So this could get very, very spicy in these last few minutes. We've got battles going on all over the place. The field is very much spread out, as you see here on the map. And your leader comes down pit lane, Doug Pickering, number 2. As I said earlier, he wants truck 2 P1. Mogridge at the moment is truck 3 P3. Never mind. Straight up to second as soon as we look at him. Of course, going past Doug Pickering. Now, he pitted on lap 37, did Chris Mogridge. Marcus Hagman just ahead of him. Pitted on lap 39. Where's Mark Redford? He pitted on lap 61. He's now lap 65, the leader. And yeah, Josh thinking it was a one-stopper. I thought they genuinely could try and stretch this to the end, but I think the guys are just making sure they don't lose out as Redford goes past Pickering. So those extra few laps have really hurt Doug on his tyres, but obviously he's going to have a couple of laps in the bag now in terms of an advantage on fresh tyres. Past him goes Mark Murphy as well. Martin Joy is right behind him for position, but he'd last pitted 26 laps ago. So you've got to be thinking those tyres will be hurting now on Martin Joy. Well, on Martin Joy's truck. Aaron Maspero is still third, just ahead of Redford. But out of the trucks that have pitted, these two are the highest now. So this has become the battle for the lead. And they've got a few seconds over Linus Broström behind. Now, is anyone just going to smack it into a wall tactically and bring the yellow out? Chris Mogridge enters the pit lane. Or the drive-through, as he could call it. Maspero is hoping that he's got some Sparrow tenths in his pocket to break away from Redford. But if Mark can be quick anywhere around this circuit, you'd hope it would be turn 4, wouldn't you? With a turn 4 motorsports truck. Broström fastest lap of the race, 40.042. 8 tenths quicker than the trucks ahead of him. And he's only got 1 lap in his pocket in terms of when the tyres went on it. On board we go, bright purple roll cage, absolutely love it. Down the back straight, the Chevy screaming its heart out, as they all do. They're such simple machines on the inside, from a visual perspective. The clocks have barely changed over the years. Look at the run that he's got. Let's have a look at the lap times. 50.8 for the 2 trucks ahead, but he's doing 40.1s. It's amazing pace from him. Down the back straight once again. Marcus Hagman still pushing that truck around. I'm thinking Marcus is trying to go to the end here. He's got 22 seconds over Aaron Maspero. I'm wondering whether he could make this work, you know. I am wondering. Still, Mark Redford is now really under pressure from Linus Broström. Linus is flying another 40.4 last time round, so 4 tenths quicker than Mark Redford. Now, what difference is it going to make when he's actually got to battle somebody? Down the inside he goes. Doesn't seem to hinder him too much. Let's have a look at the lap times this time round. You'll see them slide out on the timing tower on the left. So we have 40.6 for Linus, 41.0 for Redford, 40.6 for Pickering as well. So Pickering is on the pace, but he's nearly 3 seconds back on these guys with 8 minutes to go. What can Linus do about Aaron Maspero? Or Maspero. I'm probably saying his name wrong, and I apologise to Aaron for that. Hopefully he'll let me know. But something he doesn't need us to let him know is that Linus Broström has now made 2 moves at the same corner in 2 laps. And he's really, like Michael Jones has said in the YouTube chat, he is on the move at the moment. Linus is flying. He's made it work, but now he's got Aaron in his draft. So that's going to be helping him. Simon Wareham and Martin Joy have swapped places. Martin pitted on lap 40 though, so Simon Wareham pitting on lap 63 has 23 laps of tyre life to his advantage. Back to the front though. Well, this isn't even the front. Marcus Hagman, 18.3 seconds to the good. He pitted on lap 39. Wondering whether he could make that work, you know. We'll have to see. Well, Linus doing a wonderful job. Really is. But now he's under pressure. The lap times are very similar indeed. He was actually slower than the two of them behind him, obviously with help of the slipstream. Those two are going to stick with him. A little bit of a slide there from Maspero. Didn't help him off 1 and 2. And we're nearly into the last 5 minutes now of this race. I don't know where that's gone, honestly. It's flown by. Really enjoyed this. Just over 6 minutes, and now that is a real shame for Carl Hayes. He was so up there earlier on. He's 17th place at the moment, now being lapped by the leaders. Carl pitted on lap 54, and he's out of sync. He's fine to go to the end, but look at this now. Maspero gets through, back up into second place, but there's tiny margins between the pair of them. It's the Ford on the inside, the Chevy on the outside, and Mark Murphy in the Toyota has just got to sit back and watch this. Now the gap at the front is down to 15.7 seconds, but that is not coming down quickly enough for Marcus Hagman to lose this race. Can Marcus pull off a wonder stroke here and get this truck to the end? If you're in the pits and have a 16-second stop, you are in the pit lane for 46 seconds. So he will not hold on to the lead if he has to even nip into the pit lane, even if it's 9 seconds, like John Jarrett did, to just grab a pair of tyres. Or even grab fuel, because let's face it, you can always push to the end on tyres, even if they're completely dying. But if you've not got fuel in the thing, it will not go, so there's no point having tyres on it. Now we're into the last 5 minutes. So we're going to have about, I'd say, 7 or 8 more laps. Unless my maths is truly awful, which we all know it is so far. Linus Broström is not leaving Maspero alone though. The gap to the front now 14.2 seconds, but it's not going to come down quickly enough. Aaron heads to the low line for just a moment, then back up to the high line. We'll go on board, ready? There's the noise. As we go on board with Linus Broström, 267 Ks around there, 270. Mid-corner is amazing. Look at Maspero trying to use all of the road, leave non-Maspero. For anybody else, Linus takes a late turn in to try and get the run off the corner. Hagman's still 13.1 seconds up the road, so even if they close on him a second a lap, they're not going to get with him by the end of the race. Look at Linus now, Maspero all over the road, trying to make sure he keeps him behind. Mark Redford isn't closing in. There's contact. Linus goes for the low line. Does Maspero hold it? There's secondary contact. Mark Redford's gone wide. A little bit naughty as Marcus Hagman's come in the pits. That could be for the win. Maybe Linus has said, right, I'm going to have him. Pit. Pit, pit, pit. Doug Pickering's come out of nowhere in this as well. Look at this. Doug Pickering down the inside of Mark Redford. He's already gone past Maspero, and that could be the race win for Pickering if he gets there. But that was very, very naughty from Linus Broström. You could say Maspero was all over the road, but he wasn't that badly all over the road, was he? Now let's see what Pickering can do with just a few moments left. Let's have another quick look at it. It's a little bit late from Linus. It's that secondary contact which is really unfortunate, but for me it's a bit too late to move over like that. It's never going to work. They got fortunate that they got away with it, but obviously Aaron Maspero will not be happy at all. Now Mark Redford's on the back of Doug Pickering again. Now that Doug has got into the middle of this, he's dragging him with him. 2.5 minutes to go. Twigs to saying he always drives dirty. He wasn't the cleanest when I raced him a few years ago either, but we'll leave that in the history books between me and him. And Doug seems to just be bouncing between the pair of them. If Doug Pickering can pull this back now and win this, it'll be brilliant. Linus Broström, you have to say though, even despite that contact there, no matter what you think of it, has driven a brilliant race. He's done a wonderful job of it. But Doug Pickering started on pole, did an amazing job early on. And has done an amazing job to get back into this race as Broström smacks the wall. The truck's moving around a lot, and that gives the lead to Doug Pickering. He was pushing so hard, was Linus. And now Mark Redford's going to sneak down the inside as well. So the two trucks that started on the front row of the grid are now back to the front once again, P1 and P2. Now can Aaron Maspero get back at Linus for the contact? I'm not saying by returning the favour, but maybe just overtake him again. He's a second behind at the moment, and maybe a bit of damage to the left rear of that truck. But Doug Pickering, the Welshman, and the Pay 2 Win setups Ford F-150 is going to have just one lap to go after this. Down the back straight again. Is Redford going to be able to do anything about this though? Redford's right there. We'll go on board with him. A minute to go. They might get 2 laps here. If it's 40 seconds for a lap. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think this will be the final lap now. Pretty sure this will be the final lap. So, Redford piling the pressure on then. Who's going to take first blood this season? Is Doug Pickering going to be able to hold him off? Is Mark going to be able to get a good enough run off the first 2 corners? Down the back straight they go. I can guarantee you Mark's right foot will be going through whatever his pedals are mounted to right now. It'll be going through the carpet, it'll be going through the skirting board, it'll be going through the bottom of his rig. He will be trying everything he can, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. Doug Pickering, out of the final corner, is going to take the win at Michigan. Beautiful drive. Linus Broström holds on to a podium position. Aaron Maspero, probably the angriest man on the planet so far, finishes 4th. Mark Murphy ends up 5th. Tony Uvenon, 8 places gained to finish 6th. Great stuff from him. Then it's Netherwood and Wareham just behind Stuart Pomfrey. After leading earlier, is going to finish 9th. And Chris Mogridge, rounds out the top 10. Just ahead of Marcus Hagman, who tried to make that strategy work. Unfortunately couldn't. In the very end, Carl Hayes, understandably not happy. He's out of the race already. He's getting out of there. He'll be very frustrated after that mistake. But what a fantastic race it was for Doug Pickering. Beautiful drive indeed. And a very deserved win. You know, he put a lot of effort into making sure that he got back through the field. Mark Redford was right there at the end with him to pile the pressure on. But it's your race winner, Doug Pickering, everybody. And I hope to see some donuts, as is tradition in oval racing. We'll grab you your race results in just a moment, but let's give the man his limelight and give him a chance to ruin some rear tyres, shall we? There you go. Beautiful stuff from Doug Pickering. Hasn't won the championship before as Doug, but if he wants to do it this season, he has opened his account in the best way possible. Let's go through some results then, shall we? Apologies if there's a mess of the overlay like that. Spent so long tinkering these things only for it to go wrong, eh? Doug Pickering then takes the win. Amazing drive, as I said. Mark Redford always up there fighting. Linus Broström, bit of controversy near the end, but still gains a podium spot. Aaron Maspero did a wonderful job of leading for so long, but then, unfortunately, the contact put paid to that. Still, 4th place. Plenty of points for him. Mark Murphy, despite his internet connection, finishes 5th, with Tony Uvenon, biggest mover in the field, 8 places gained, up into 6th. Stephen Netherwood finished in 7th, ahead of Simon Wareham. Stuart Pomfrey and Chris Mogridge finishing out the top 10. We then have Marcus Hagman and Simon Thorns, 11th and 12th. John Jarrett in 13th with his teammate John Jenkins just behind him. Carl Hayes 1 lap down in 15th. Real shame for Carl after having so much promise early on. Darrell Whitford finishes 16th, Jonas Force in 17th, with Martin Joy 2 laps down, reigning champion in 18th place. Then it was Michael Rash, 2 laps down as well. Martin McDermott 3 laps down. And then the drivers that I believe did not finish the race. Adam Illman 8 laps down, with Brandon Roderick, Mark Cadmore, Simon Marshall and Jake Forster not completing the race. And into the winner's circle he goes as well. Love that. Absolutely love that. There you go. There's a shot for you. There is a shot for you, Doug. I'm sure he'll be taking plenty of screenshots of that. I hope they do this at all circuits. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? But there's your Gatorade victory lane. I must admit, though, I want to just clarify now, the series and I are in no way associated with Gatorade, and they do not sponsor it. But wow, that was certainly a good one. And to be honest, as we've got him on screen in victory lane, we may as well bring him in for a quick chat. Doug Pickering, your race winner, everybody. Doug, that's the best way you could possibly start your season, isn't it, mate?
Can't argue with that.
Certainly looked like a lot of fun out there as well, but it looked quite tough near the end. I imagine you were laughing your head off when the other guys made contact and slowed themselves up.
Yeah, it was touch and go whether I was going to get to them, but when they did that, I had to draft off Aaron, I had to draft off Mark to get back to Linus, and then Linus put it in the wall. It's like everything just fell into place.
And that's the thing with these races, isn't it? You need to always be there to just try and take advantage of that sort of stuff, don't you?
Absolutely correct, yeah.
And what are your thoughts going forward in the season? Obviously, I was looking at previous championships, previous results. Noticed you hadn't stood on the top spot before, but as you've done this in the best way possible, do you think you could potentially do it this time round?
Maybe. There's a lot of people in here, so it's a lot of drop weeks. Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah, it's always a difficult one to judge in championships like this. Next time you go to Iowa in a week's time, is that a circuit you're particularly a fan of?
I like it in some cars, but not so much in the truck.
Well, we'll have to see how you get on there, mate. Hopefully I'll be around to broadcast that one, but unfortunately cannot guarantee anything as it's so close to Christmas. But well done this evening, mate. Is there anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, can I give a shout out to David Lamb at Pay to Win Setups for all the prep on the car, wink wink. And Hazy Signs and Designs for the paintwork, and front row racing, the guys who we run with the German league with.
Awesome stuff. Well, great to speak to you, Doug. Well done today, and hopefully speak to you next time round, mate.
Cheers, Chaz.
Cheers. And from our first place finisher to our second place finisher, Mark Redford. You started on the front row, mate. It seemed to have a few moments there where it looked like the race was going to get away from you, but you just kept fighting. Did you enjoy that one?
Oh, that was a fantastic race. I really enjoyed that. Lots and lots of fun. I want to thank all the guys that I was racing with there. It was nice and respectful, and yeah, lots of fun.
Well, I was saying all throughout the broadcast just how close some of you guys run as well, and how much respect was shown, how few incidents. I mean, one yellow flag just on lap 1 because I believe it was a VR headset that died for the 22, so that was the only cause of it. It wasn't particularly driver error, so that sets a good standard for the rest of the season, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can be a really good league at times. We have lots of green flag pit stops, so long may that continue, because racing like that is fantastic.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's great to watch as well. Really, really good fun. Really enjoyed that. It flew by, to be honest. It was brilliant. But next time out, Iowa. Is it a circuit you're a fan of, or is it one that's like a bit of a thorn in the side?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a big track specialist, really, so I tend to struggle at the smaller twist-turnier ones. So I'm hope I can do well, but we'll see.
And obviously second place, good start to your season. Do you think you could be clambering up there this season for another championship?
I hope so, yeah. Last season it all went wrong in the first 4 or 5 races, and then I got consistent again. So as long as I can consistently get those top 5s, so it should be up there or thereabouts, and that's the aim.
Well, fingers crossed for you, Mark. Just before we let you go, do you want to give a quick shout out to anybody?
Big shout to Nest in the Woods, my business sponsors, and a big shout to John and Simon, and my mind has gone blank. Yeah, everyone involved with the league, and everyone who comes here and races with us every Sunday, because without them it would be nothing, but with them it's great fun.
Love it, mate. Well, great to speak to you. Well done today, and hopefully we'll see you next time out.
And thanks to Adam Illman.
For the lovely livery. I quite like the green on that.
Yeah, he's one of the other admins as well, so better say it.
Fair. Well, I'll certainly make sure I keep complimenting the livery then. But smashing to speak to you, Mark. Thank you very much for having me on, and we'll see you next time around.
Yeah, thanks for broadcasting, Chaz.
No worries. Cheers. And we go from one Mark to another. Mark Murphy joins me in the box. Now, that seemed like a bit of a race that had its ups and downs for everybody inside the top 10 there, Mark. But again, you were another driver that just kept fighting, and a few of the guys dropped off, but ended up with the top 5. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, not bad for the first race of the season. Up against some very tough competition.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like some of the guys just were able to turn the pace on and off in that one. Is that something that you possess as well? Because I certainly don't.
I'm more on the long run pace, looking after the tyres, but they just had an extra gear tonight.
Yeah, it just seems like halfway through a run they could just, like I say, turn it on. But it seemed like it was not too demanding a race in terms of strategy, but when it got into those last 15 minutes and the pit stops started again, was that something you were surprised by, or did you expect to have to do 2 stops?
We knew the fuel wouldn't last to do a 1 stop, so we were
Okay.
trying to work out when was the best time to pit on for the second time to maximise the advantage of the tyres, but everyone had the same idea.
Yeah, it seemed like whenever there is a stop or anybody goes in, they all think, oh, I should be doing that, and then they all go clamber in the pits as well. It looked like you went well round here, though. Obviously, I was just talking to Mark Redford there. He says he's a bit more of a big track specialist. Now, Iowa, not the biggest track, let's face it. Do you think that you could go well there?
I know the lines around there to be quick. Hopefully I can find the pace.
Well, fingers crossed, mate, because it would be good to see your season continue to go well. But before we let you go, Mark, is there anybody that you would like to give a quick shout to?
Just the guys at Turn 4 Motorsport and my girlfriend.
Love it. Good to speak to you, Mark. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you next time round.
No worries, catch you later.
Cheers. And that brings the very first evening of the season to an end here on Chaz Draycott Media in the MyTurnRacing Sunday Night Trucks 2021 season 1. And it's been a real joy to broadcast this. It's a lot of fun, something very different compared to what I'm used to with these guys. Fantastic league, bunch of great people as well. And it's been around for a very long time in the iRacing community. Look at these things flying, it's awesome, isn't it? Really great to watch. But Doug Pickering takes the first win of the season in very dramatic fashion in the latter stages of that one. Apologies, I just want to say, for the intro and issues with the streams early on. It seems like YouTube had some sort of encoding issue or something. I was getting 1,000,001 notifications from it. So hopefully going forward we can smooth that out and get a cleaner broadcast for you guys. But thank you to Mark Redford, to John Jarrett, and of course to Simon Marshall, Adam Illman and the rest of the admins for having me on this series. I will be trying to broadcast as many rounds as possible, but as discussed with them, if any real world opportunities obviously pop up for next season, they will have to take priority. However, because this series is a little bit later in the evening, it's always good fun to get back and finish off the weekend with some sturdy truck racing. But that is all we have time for this evening. It's been a real joy to do, so thank you everybody that's been involved. Thank you everybody, of course, for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well if you want to catch future rounds of this brilliant championship. But for now, I've been Chaz Draycott. This has been the MyTurnRacing Sunday Night Trucks series, and we'll see you next time round.
Again.